So I want you to get you out some pen and some paper, and I want you to write at the top of this paper, flourishing like a flower. Because in life, we truly want to flourish like a flower. And I'm finna break that down for you. Let's first get into the word flourish. So flourish simply means to prosper, to thrive, or to be in a state of production. So basically, a flourishing flower is simply just a flower that's thriving. That's really all it is. But a flower can't flourish on its own, right? There are certain conditions that need to take place in order for this flower to flourish. Well, we're going to talk about the 6 main conditions, right? And I want y'all to write this down. The first one is going to be space. The second one is going to be soil. The third one is going to be nutrients. The fourth one is going to be air. The fifth one is going to be water. And the sixth one is going to be sunlight. So first thing is space. In order for a flower to flourish, you got to make sure there's enough space. See, a flower needs enough space above ground to make sure that it has room to sprout. It also needs enough space for proper sunlight and proper airflow. And it needs space below ground in order for the roots to have enough space to spread. So a flower needs space. Before you even plant the seed, you got to make sure there's enough space. So in life, if I want to flourish like a flower, the first thing I got to do is I got to make enough space. Well, in order to make space, you have to remove. Another word for remove can be detach or let go. So the first thing I got to do is I have to remove, and whether that is removing bad habits, whether that's letting go of bad people that I know I'm not supposed to be hanging around, whether that's detaching myself from past trauma, releasing myself from toxic energy, whatever it is that's crowding your space, you need to make room. That's the first thing first before you do anything. Okay, now soil. So healthy, well-draining soil is the foundation for strong growth, right? Key word there is foundation. Well, in life, what is our foundation? Our foundation are going to be our goals, our achievements, the steps we're going to take to get to those goals and achievements, and a discipline routine. That's our healthy, well-draining foundation right there. That is our soil. The goals, my goals, this is what I want to do. These are the achievements that I want to accomplish. These are the steps I'm going to take to get to those goals and those achievements. And this is my discipline routine that I'm going to stick to. So number 3, nutrients. So a flower needs nutrients, as nutrients is essential. It helps improves fertility. Another word for fertility is productivity. Another word for productivity is production, right? So this is the stage where you produce. This is the stage where you put the work in, right? So growth is not going to happen without any type of effort. You already set your goals. You already set the plans you're going to take to get to those goals. You already got your discipline routine. Now it's time to stop talking, and now it's time to put in the work. This is the stage where we got to put in the work. This is our production. Okay, so let's move to number 4. We got air. So air is important, as air helps fuels the life process, right? So if air helps fuels the life process, well, in life, what fuels my life process? I want y'all to think about that for a moment. Before I even get into it, I want you to think about it. What fuels our life process? It's our minds, right? Our minds are what shapes our life process, or what fuels our life process. And I'm going to break that down for you. So how your mind fuels your life process is, if you really think about it, your mind shapes your thoughts, right? Shapes your emotions, shapes your beliefs, shapes your actions. It even shapes your physical health. It's all in your mind, right? So if that's what fuels our life process, our minds, then we need to learn how to take control of that, right? And I'm finna break that down. So a great example of taking control of your mind is fear or being scared. Because when you really think about it, being in fear or being scared is really all in your mind. And that's something that you could learn to take control of, right? One way or a great example of taking control of your mind would be when you are in fear or when you're scared, right? Because you got to realize being in fear or being scared is all in your mind, right? So what you have to realize is that being scared to do something or being in fear to do something is a natural part of life. It's natural. It's okay. You're supposed to feel that. It's natural. But you have to still do it scared, right? Don't you realize that when you're scared, that's when you're the most focused? When you're scared, that's when you are the most focused. You just go ahead and do it scared. And then once you do it, it may be not even that scary after that. You might look at it like, oh, it wasn't even that bad. Either way it go, you control your decision making. You control your thoughts. You control how you feel. You learn to take control of that. You keep a positive mindset. Take control of what fuels your life process. So number 5, we got water, right? So in order for a flower to flourish, it needs water. Now, water is a vital component, right? As water makes up 80 to 95% of the flower's composition. Well, when you think about it, how does a flower naturally gets its most vital component? And I'm not talking about from a water hose. I'm not talking about from a sprinkler system, irrigation system. How does a flower naturally gets its most vital component? And it's from rain. Rain. That's the only way it's going to naturally get the water is from rain. So what you telling me is that in order for a flower to get its most vital component, making up 80 to 95% of its composition, it has to go through a rainy season. It has to go through a storm. That's the only way it can receive it. See, I don't think y'all walk with me real quick. So hard times, rainy times are vital, right? These are vital moments. As these moments aren't meant to destroy you. These hard times are meant to help grow you. Use challenges as energy, not excuses. Most people quit here, but flourishing people don't. Just because it gets hard don't mean you got to give up. This moment is meant for you to learn from, experience from, and go harder. That's all it is. It's meant to grow you. That's it. So last but not least, number 6, we got sunlight, right? So in order for a flower to flourish, it needs sunlight, as sunlight is needed to convert water and air into glucose sugar so the flower can start making its own energy, producing its own energy, right? So our sunlight is knowing our power, right? Knowing what we are capable of and that we are capable to achieve whatever we put our mind to. And once we believe that, nothing can stop us, right? So when you take you knowing that you can do anything you put your mind to, your sunlight, and you take your struggles, which is your water, right? And then you take your mindset, your effort, and your beliefs, which is your air. You start converting your own energy. Look at you. Now you're flourishing like a flower. Man, I hope I motivated y'all out there, man, or encouraged somebody out there. That's just something that's just really been on my heart and on my mind, and I wanted to share it. I've been on a journey myself. I'm learning myself, and I'm learning things in life. And as I'm learning these things, I want to share what I'm learning. And this is one of the things. So I hope y'all wrote the 6 steps down, flourishing like a flower, review it, compare it to your life, make it fit to your life. And yeah, man, we gonna do this. We gonna thrive. We gonna prosper. Remember, we can do whatever we put our mind to. Don't forget that we are capable to do whatever we put our minds to. I appreciate it.